Hello and welcome to Night In with Joy Irungu. I'm your host Joy Irungu, and thank you for always keeping locked into our show and showing your support in terms of comments, likes, sharing our episodes. You are amazing, and I love each and every one of you. And today's episode is from a lady who has just made my night. Yani, this woman is just something else, from humor to carefree, and she said something that sitasema hapa justaki kurushiwa mawe. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joy.
I love the fact that you have just, I don't know, so many people take divorce very seriously, pain and everything. Mm-hmm. But from the conversation we're having, it is what it is.
It's like
it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Before we go to your story, just tell us who Rachel is.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Gidu. Rachel loves life, keeping it positive, keeping it happy, and enjoying every moment. Because life is a school, is a university that never ends, depending on how you see it. If you take it positively, it gives you positive lessons, even in the worst moments. If you look at it negatively, it gives you the negative energy, and all of them work either for you or they work against you.
Yeah.
And one of my slogans is #moving on swiftly, meaning don't stay in one place, keep moving. If you're falling, fall forward. Yes.
Awesome. So just tell us your journey into marriage.
Oh, that was awesome. It was pretty young, yes. And of course, the way we have grown up, you're told as a woman you're supposed to get married. So go to school, then get married, get children, bring us grandchildren. So even as we grow up, you still have that ring at the back of your mind. So after school, the next thing is go to college and then get married. So it was still part of the journey. And I met a good gentleman. He was a loving man, yes. We were pretty young, not the same tribe. And church-based, we met in a church choir.
Oh.
Yes, we were both very musical. And we also had the same interests, going for evangelism and love of souls. So it was good. Pairing up was good then.
What age is young?
What age was young? Early 20s.
Oh.
Very early. So we thought that is good for us, and so we thought. And then the little knowledge in the 20s also was a big hindrance, because we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. We thought just the love and we can get along and run around and go for missions together, that is good enough. So in our minds, that is also what is going to happen in the house. But we didn't know that's another different story. What you're doing out here is different, and back at home is a whole different story. So we didn't date for long, because back then, maybe it has changed now, back then the church didn't want prolonged dating, because you are running away from fornication, the sin of fornication. So in the process, you lose out on many details. Like, for instance, when you're having an intermarriage, you need to understand the other tribe and their practices and how you're going to integrate. And that cannot be learnt in one day. So we missed out on those and other important aspects, like how we're going to raise our family, how you're going to put food on the table, in case there's going to be need of career growth, in case there's going to be need of expansion, how will that be handled? Those are some of the things which you need to look at and into before you get in there. So anyway, we rushed in, and we had few people telling us we're still young, but we thought, we'll prove you wrong. You wait, we'll prove you wrong. So we got in and we started off, and it was fine. But then as we kept growing, initially the present need was start a family and then meet our needs, put food on the table, which was not hard. But then as you grow out of your 20s and now you get into your 30s, You know, I say the 20s is more so a trial stage where you want to try many careers, you're still finding your footing in life. But then now when you get to 30, 31, 32, you have dropped many of the things, they're either not working, and now this is what you want to pursue. So when you got to that point, what he wanted to pursue, I didn't get it. Because now for me, I was like, I would love to go to school, increase my education, and pursue a more professional path. Then he needed to go deeper into ministry. So now the gaps began. So he wants to go deeper, I want to become more professional, I want to build a career of my own. And that's how the gaps began. But then at some point, the crucial pointers were, what I thought was good for us was not what he needed. For instance, where he came from, family, siblings are very important. They are dependents. You got to carry them. You got to take care of them. Where I'm coming from, I've grown up alone. And with my parents and my siblings, we don't carry. Everybody lives their life. It's a typical Kikuyu home whereby you carry your burdens, unajipanga, and at 17, 18 after high school, see the door and find yourself. And anything your father had or your mother had is theirs. Go and look for yours. Now here I'm coming to a setup where the family are dependents, and they kind of, I'm using the word kind of, they kind of never outgrow being dependents. So it's like, it's a pattern. You got to get used of including them into your list of responsibilities that will never end. And that, I didn't get time to get it. So it was not getting into my head, like, how can I help you build a business and you're still depending on me? You start help you kidogo, hit the road and build yourself and depend on yourself. So that brought in a bit of conflict. The family and also him felt I am not understanding them and I don't love them, which was true. I was not understanding them. Then what I thought was love was build you. Come, my brothers, my sisters, what is good for you? What do you want to do? Get it. Start. Help support you for a few months. Run on your own. Be independent. That was for me, I mean, that was my interpretation of love. But for them, that was not love. That was hate. So for
them was, let's walk this journey together till
forever, forever, I don't know when. So it brought a gap. It pushed us further apart because now it's family and I am not understanding and the family is not happy and he is also not happy because again, when you go back to building a career, like you tend to put all your energies in it. So I put all my energies in my career and he felt abandoned. He also felt I didn't respect him. So the pointing, what was the most significant is when he asked me a question one day. Unanisaidianga na nini? That stuck in my head. Then the next one was like, you don't respect me. 2, 3, your head is too big, can't fit in my house. We can't be 2 men in the house. That was it. I knew this is done. So I sat down and I was like, you know what? This is a wake-up call. What is the message here?
But let me just ask you, in between the misunderstandings and him feeling that you're not supporting and you having your own perspective of what helping and all that is, didn't you have somebody to talk to? Since you guys started from church, and I'm so sure the church people who held your hand during marriage, didn't you like seek counsel from someone?
I did, but they always felt I'm not understanding, or no, not understanding. I'm refusing to accept the role that I'm supposed to take up.
The role of a wife.
The role of the kind of wife he needed. And this is where now we get it wrong as women. Because it is not what I think as a woman, is what the man needs. Now, let me take you back to the Bible, because I went now back to the Bible to search and read. I went and read and reread and reread and read very many versions, so that it brings out a picture which I don't have. Genesis chapter 2, after the creation, and then God creates Adam and he puts him in a garden. There's a space there. There's some verses, which means there's a period of time. Then Adam is busy in his garden. Then God sees it's not good for him to be alone. So he brings him a helper, not a wife. A helper is what came first. So what did Eve come to do? Help Adam in his garden. Now, every man has a different garden. Some are engineers, another is a businessman, another one is whatever career they do. Now, if as a woman, I am coming into this man's life and I don't know his garden, then I'm not going to be helping him. I'll be killing him. And you know, men don't have in between. It is either black or white. You're either in or out. You're either helping or killing. So when I understood, and then I sat down with my biological dad, I told him, Dad, I'm talking to you. He's late now, but he helped me a lot to make my decisions. I asked him, Dad, talk to me like, don't talk to me like a girl, talk to me like a man. What do you think I'm doing? And my dad told me nothing. I was like, thank you. Where am I going wrong? He told me, you don't know what that man needs, so you're not building him, you're killing him. I was like, so Dad, you want to tell me whatever goes wrong in his life, I'll be held responsible? He told me, right. Society will never forgive you. You're guilty.
So how do you know what a man needs?
Thank you. They say. Men say.
They tell you.
They say from the beginning. They say what they need. But now we women do not listen. We don't listen to hear. We listen to respond. And then we hear what we want to hear. We don't hear what is being said. For example, a man will come and say, like for him, he would say, I really need help. I need help in beginning a church. I'm doing evangelism. I need a church. And I need a pastor who can pastor a church. Okay. Who will be there to be supporting a church. Now, I am called, I know how to pastor a church, but that is not the line
that you want.
I wanted to pursue. I wanted to be more professional. So you see, he has said his need. I am not in it.
But let me just ask. I think this is where sacrifices and compromises in the relationship comes in.
Yes.
Because you see, yes, if that's what you can do, if you can do ministry, but still have your career path, this is where compromise and sacrifices come in, and you guys come together and say, okay, then this is what you want career, but is it okay? Can you work while still helping out here?
True. That is where compromise and sacrifice comes. But then both of them are babies. Building a career is a baby. It's like bringing forth a new baby. There's demand of time and attention and everything. Beginning a church is also a baby. They will need time and attention and resources and everything and support. Every career, every profession, it always has a beginning stage. So the beginning stage is like a small baby. A small baby stops depending on their 100% dependence when they are able to start walking and eating their own food, which is about 2 years for a normal baby. So 2 years, when you're looking at 2 years, you've got to sit down and lay down your life as a sacrifice for 2 years, doing nothing else but this one thing, building this career. So in me, I felt my feeling, not him. So for him, his priority was church.
Yeah.
For me, my priority was get my career, have my family running, have a stable source of income. Then after that, we can now come back and raise this other child. But now you see, my school of thought was wrong.
Yeah. So what happened next? Like, after realizing that this is what he wants and this is what I want, and no compromise there.
Yes.
So What next?
The next thing I did the evaluation was the children, the outcome of the children, because definitely when there's conflict, you're not in agreement, the home becomes toxic, it's not peaceful. And many times when you sit with our elder mothers, they tell us stay in for the children, but the truth of the matter is when you stay in for the children you're not in agreement, you're hurting the children more than you're helping them. So I sat down and told myself, because now it is me. It is not anybody else. Nobody else is at fault here. It is me. Because I told myself one thing. I came into his life. I'm supposed to be helping him. But now he feels and he says I'm not helping him. So meaning if I am not helping you, I will not be killing you. I'll need to go.
Yeah.
So I sat down and asked and evaluated. And I told him, you know what? I've accepted. I don't build you, I kill you. I set you free today. Search for the woman.
How many
who
years
will build you.
later now did you say that?
That was way back over 8 years ago. Yes, and I told him, I've set you free because I'm not building you, I'll not be killing you. Then he said, the only thing he said is that the children are my life. Then I knew that's the ultimate sacrifice. I will not take anybody's life because there's one thing I promised my dad before he died. I will never have any man's blood on my hands. So I knew I'll end up walking out with nothing. But anyhow, I sat the children down and I told them, there comes a time a decision has to be made. I'm very sorry, I'm not the kind of mom that your father needed for you. And instead of hurting you, for the sake of peace, I make my decision. I'm leaving. And I left. Yes.
And how did the kids take it?
It was mixed reaction. It hurt them, of course.
What
they
age
didn't
were
understand it. They were pretty young.
Okay.
The smaller ones were around 6.5. The bigger one was slightly older. He was around, I think, 14. Yes. But they were pretty young. But then a decision had to be made.
Yeah.
Instead of hurting them all the more, because when a home is not, when you're not agreeing, even though you try very hard to keep it from the children, the air in the house always speaks. Everything speaks. They will always speak something and it will make them uneasy. That's how I left. And I began now the journey of searching myself, searching for
So
me.
now you left the kids with the dad?
Left.
Okay.
I carried just my clothes and my books. I love books. And I went.
But at this point you still love seeing the children?
So by then, after some time, I kept seeing the children. But now I would go and see them from their father's house. But then one thing I told the gentleman is, I respect you, you're a man. And according to God's order, after God, it is a man. Women, we come after. So I will not interfere and I will not be the one to destroy you. You will never hear it with anybody. When you be ready to move on, you will be the one to talk about it, not me. And I kept quiet. Anywhere he needed assistance, I would go in and assist.
Wow.
Yes. I told him I would never destroy your life. Never ever. That's not me. I don't want to destroy my future because I destroyed somebody's life. Not me. So nobody knew we were separated.
And
until now he came out loud and he declared he's marrying.
Okay, wait. Wait. So by the time you left the house,
yes,
definitely, let's just be honest,
yes,
there's that feeling of hurt, pain,
yes,
at times. I know you went through that, so how did
yes,
you even cope with that?
Well, it's hard. You're used to having a family around you, then suddenly you're single, sleeping in your own small room, nobody to talk to, and then there was this life and now it's not there. So I did not lie to myself. I told myself, you know what, this is a new phase of life, whereby I have to deal with all what has happened and leave it behind me, but accept. I brought it on myself because I didn't have what was needed at the time. So nobody's at fault, it's all me. So I carried my cross. I went through the phase, like for the first 2-3 years, it was very hard. The depression was real. I isolated myself a lot. Then I decided to speak to one of my cousins, and I got back to a psychiatrist help.
Nice.
So he took me through the stages, and then I was like, initially he didn't think I've made up my mind. But I told him, I'm very decisive. I don't make a decision overnight. I take time. So went through the depression, got out of it, then decided to start small. So if anything was needed, I would only assist him. But for my own self, now continue pursue with my career.
So now, he finally tells people that you guys separated because he wants to settle down.
Yes.
And now you guys have separated for how long?
From 2013 up to 2021. So how many years? 8 years.
So this is the year that he's come out to say that you have separated.
Yes. And he files the divorce.
All through those years.
Silence.
But people knew you guys weren't together.
No, they didn't know. Who speaks fast about a broken relationship? Is the women, right? I zipped. I was like, I will not be the first. I'll never have your blood on my hands. Never.
What was the reaction of people?
After that, backlash. Women wanted to kill me because, Rachel, what have you done? No,
Yeah,
when
the
the
blame comes
announcement,
to you now.
which is okay, I was ready for it. I had seen it coming. What happens is when it came out clean, for me, I was celebrating, like I was finally, he's found what he was looking for, the kind of woman whom he wanted. I was excited. And actually, on his wedding day, I went for the best hike. Because I love hikes. I went for one of my best hikes. I was excited, like, it was fun. And we walked for many kilometers, more than 30 kilometers in one day. Because mind you, it's time of COVID. I was excited, like, yes, finally.
This gentleman fell free.
This gentleman is now settled. Now he's be happy. His joy is complete. He's found a woman who he loves the way he needs to be loved, who will love him the way he needs to be loved, who will build him the way he needs to be built.
So finally now you realize he comes out, says he's getting married and everything. So is this the time that you guys now do the divorce papers?
Yes, so I'm served with the divorce papers and I read them and I look at him and the other people who are there and I'm like, you know what, I've made you suffer enough. Let me just give you a consent. Go ahead. Story finished. And the court clerk is like, you're not going to petition? I'm like, no. You're fine with it? Yes.
What about the kids? Who takes custody of the children?
Him.
But you see the children every now and then?
He has full custody. If you know what full custody means. And that's what I was expected to contest. Not me. I would never take my children to court. The courts tear children apart. I've handled cases. I handled cases where some gentleman spoke to me. I didn't know it was the last. He was going to commit suicide. And this is what he told me. We went to court when our parents were divorcing and the court subjected us to choose between our father and our mother. At the back of our minds, you don't have another father, you'll never have another mother. So when you had to choose between the two, I couldn't take it. I thought I would take him through the depression therapy. I didn't know that was his last. So I cannot handle a case like that and I come and repeat the same mistake.
Let me ask you, don't you think that your children feel like you just left, you left them without a fight?
When finally I was served with the divorce papers, I asked their father to allow me to talk to them. I told them to forgive me for failing, for abandoning them when they needed me the most, for not being the kind of mother they needed to have. I have my own share of mistakes. I've accepted. And if they ever find a place in their heart to forgive me,